If you want to have deeper conversations, then you need to learn how to ask better questions. However, the question is, where do you begin? Well, that's exactly what we're going to cover in today's video and podcast episode. So, hey, let's get into it. Now, check this, my friend. I recently stumbled upon a piece of research from Harvard Business School, which was published in 2017. And I remember stumbling upon it and noticing something very, very interesting. High level, they found a strong and consistent relationship between question asking and liking, meaning the person who asks more questions is deemed more likable by their conversation partner. That's what they found from their piece of research and study, that the ones who asked more questions were seen as more likable by their conversation partner. And I remember thinking, something feels off for me. Something feels off because for the leaders, teams, entrepreneurs that I teach, coach, partner with, that would create a disconnect. That would create a disconnect because as I see it, it's not about asking more questions. It's about asking the right questions, the intentional questions, the conscious questions. And when I say conscious questions, I'm talking about questions which are grounded in positive intentionality. Questions which are grounded in positive intentionality. Now, how do we ask conscious questions? Well, actually, funny enough, this is something I actually talk about in my upcoming book, which will be out in November this year. And man, I'm so excited to get this book out into the world. But this is something I talk about in habit 2 of my book, How to Ask Conscious Questions. If it excites you to learn about the different types of questions that you can ask, how to embed them in a conversation without feeling awkward or engineered or contrived, then hey, head to the description and you can click the link under the pre-order relationship currency section and head on down to whichever retailer you like, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, la-di-da-di-da, and pre-order your book. So hey, if you feel called to do so, brilliant. If not, that's cool too. Anyway, I digress. One of the types of questions that I teach inside of this book and in my work is how to ask empathetic questions for building depth and intimacy with another human being and in a conversation. And when I say an empathetic question, I'm talking about asking a question that shows the human being opposite you, hey, this person is interested in what I'm emotionally invested in. Meaning, you should ask questions which show somebody that you care about what they care about. You know what I'm saying? How do you do that? Well, allow me to introduce you to my what, feel, who method. My what, feel, who method. And I remember this framework of mine was born out of my own frustration. It was born out of my own frustration when I received questions from friends, good friends, like, hey man, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. I mean, we've been friends for years now. You kind of know what's going on in my life. That question lacks depth. It lacks intimacy. And truthfully, it's lazy. I've asked it, you've asked it, no judgment, but it's lazy. In the wrong context, it's lazy. Fair? I think that's fair. So what do you do instead? What do you do instead? Well, let me give you an example and let me set the scene. Okay, let me set the scene. Let's say that you are on a Zoom call with Natalie. Now, Natalie is a long-standing customer of yours and you talk for 30 minutes every 2 to 4 weeks. You're on a call with her. And instead of saying, how are you? Because you wouldn't do that. You're intentional. You know that conscious questions are the key to unlocking connection, right? You do this instead. You say, hey, Natalie, the last time we spoke, you mentioned that you were moving home, but you were feeling super stressed because your daughter was unhappy about the change. Now that you've moved in and you're settled in, how is she finding it? As simple as that. What, feel, who? What is moving home in this instance? The feel is stressed. Natalie's feeling stressed. Who is it impacting? Her daughter. And as a result, the entire family. Here's why I'm telling you this. In every conversation, your job is to figure out the what, feel, who. What do they care about in this season of their life? How do they feel about it? And who is this impacting? And then you need to log it, okay? Whether it's on your phone, whether it's in your customer relationship management tool, whatever it is, log it. Log it so that you can truly make somebody feel seen, heard, and understood in your next conversation. But log it and then ask them an empathetic question and just watch the magic unfold. Just watch the magic unfold. Now, funny enough, I was delivering a virtual workshop the other week and I was in the Q&A and I got asked a fascinating question. I loved it. The dude said, Rav, this is great, man. I really like this. This is cool, but this works for follow-up questions with people you are building rapport with or have built rapport with. But what about me speaking to a prospect for the first time? How do I embody the what, feel, who method? And I was like, that's such a good question. So my response was the following. I said that the goal is to once again show somebody that you care about what they care about. How can you do that? Well, let's say that during your research before the call, you stumbled upon a post, a LinkedIn post of theirs, which said that they were in Miami at an AI conference because they wanted to learn about how to improve their team's workflow. And this was just last week. You could hop on a call. Instead of saying, hey, James, how are you? You say, hey, James, I saw on LinkedIn the other week that you were traveling to Miami for an AI conference and you were looking to improve your team's workflow and pick up a thing or two. Hey, how did it go? And is there anything you can share that would be helpful for my team? As simple as that. You show that you have a character of intention by being well researched. You signal competence. Yeah, the bar is that low in today's world. All it takes is research. And you signal competence because, hey, how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you show up like that before they've even signed a contract with you, imagine how you're going to show up later. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And then finally, you're able to connect with them and build rapport. And for me, that's how you earn trust. That's how you earn trust, by capturing the 3 C's, or rather showcasing the 3 C's so you can capture trust. When I say the 3 C's, I'm talking about connection, character, and competence. This is something that I talk about in Relationship Currency, my book, that in any given moment, pitch, presentation, or conversation, our job is to showcase the 3 C's so we can accelerate trust. Connection, character, and competence. And if you want to learn what each of those elements actually mean, what they stand for, and how you can ask more questions, more impactful, conscious, and influential questions just like this, then hey, head on down to the link in the description and pre-order Relationship Currency if you feel called to do so. So, as you've really learned in today's episode, it just boils down to you being intentional and a great listener. Because if you can pick up on what was said in a prior conversation, decipher what's the most important thing to them in this season of their life, how they feel about it, and who in their life it's impacting, and deeply listen, it tells such an incredible story about you. It tells such an incredible story about you. And just like that, you begin paving the way for developing and cultivating an authentic relationship. So, hey, if you enjoyed today's episode or video, let me know in the comments. What was one thing you connected with the most in this episode? And hey, I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Peace.